Hi again, friends. I made an earlier video about how to tell what's true and what's not true, or at least how I do it. Listen, I want to say again, I'm not a pundit. I'm not an expert on government or civics. I have no expertise. I'm just talking to you, citizen to citizen, about some things that I'm thinking about and concern me, and particularly about this idea of you and I trying to find common ground. I hope by now that some people who are Trump voters are watching these videos. Maybe that's too high a goal, but I hope so, and if so, welcome to the conversation. So we obviously have disagreements about what makes a trusted source. You know, you might trust Fox, somebody else might trust CNN, somebody else might trust MSNBC, somebody else might trust QAnon, somebody else might trust any number of other sources, PBS, NPR. Um, and I know that we disagree, if you're on the other side of the aisle, about which of those are reliable. I think most of us probably have a couple of sources that we check. I know I do. But it's no secret that our news sources are biased. But if you have one source, just one, that you consider, forgive the pun, trumps all the others, then that better be a reliable source. If you have one source that you go, okay, if that source tells me, I don't care what anybody else says, I know that's true, right? Now, I get into this rather frustrating circular conversation, as I call it, with friends on Twitter. And I have deliberately tried to stay in touch with and follow and engage with Trump supporters and Republicans, all kinds of people, respectfully and kindly, but also to be honest about where my issues are and where I have difficulty understanding their point of view. And the circular conversation goes like this. I say, you do realize that Trump lies a lot, don't you? Because to me this seems immensely not arguable, just so clear. And their response is often, name one lie, just one lie that Trump has told, proven lie. And I'll pick one of the many lies. And their response is always to change the conversation. They say, well, other people lie. Well, that's true, but we were talking about whether Trump lies. That's fake news. Well, I'm just saying what he said and the fact, and there's a discrepancy there. Or they'll say, he was being sarcastic, he was kidding, it's hyperbole, he was exaggerating, and the worst one is he was trying to troll you. It looks like it worked. And I'm like, is that really what presidents should want to do, is troll people? Is that really the idea? Very, very strange. But it's frustrating because I can't get any traction in this discussion, and after making the demonstration that they've asked me to make. So look, I can't convince you. If it is not blatantly clear to you that Trump lies a lot, without compunction, chronically, then there's no way I can convince you, because to me it is so obvious that I can't understand how anybody doesn't see it. And so I'm going to ask you to do a strange thing and perhaps convince yourself. I know, Trump voters, I know this is the point at which you're less happy with this video. Hang in there with me. I'm talking to you respectfully, citizen to citizen. And, I cannot force you to change your mind about anything, so don't worry. Don't worry, you can double down on what you believe. I'm going to ask you to ask yourself. We all heard Donald Trump's administration say that it was the largest attendance at any inauguration ever in history, period. And we all saw footage of that inauguration. So if those things go together for you, so be it. If they don't, you have to at least, it may not change your vote or your opinion of Donald Trump, but you have to at least say, okay, that wasn't true. If you believe that COVID's no big deal and it's a hoax and it's been exaggerated and everything's fine, we shouldn't worry about it. If you believe that, so be it. If you believe what all the scientists, all of the scientists that are not in the Trump administration say, then you have to know that the man is saying something that isn't true. If you believe that when he said there were only 11 cases going down to 0, that was what he knew to be true at the time, so be it. We have him on tape saying otherwise, okay? If you believe that he's built a wall and Mexico paid for it, yeah, okay. If you believe that the children who were separated from their parents at the border are being very well taken care of, then okay. If not, then the man's lying. And my only point is to deny that he is dishonest. It doesn't make sense to me, but maybe it makes sense to you. If you believe that he was being sarcastic, as he claims, when he claimed that injecting bleach or using ultraviolet light inside the body was a possible cure for COVID, if you believe he was joking, which that's his claim, then fine. If you don't, and again, ask yourself inside here, ask yourself whether his statement lines up with what you believe to be true. He's claimed not to know a lot of people. Never met him, don't know him. Maybe I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a crowd, met him once or twice with regard to Paul Manafort and a whole bunch of people. If you believe that's true, that's one thing. If you look at that and you go, that's not true, then just be honest with yourself. Again, maybe it doesn't change your opinion or your vote. Maybe it's fine. But don't say that the guy doesn't lie. There have been published long lists of alleged lies that Trump told. You can look over those lists and maybe a lot of them you'll dismiss and go, oh, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. He wasn't lying. This is left-wing slant. And then some of them you might go, okay, he lied. He lied there. And here's the thing. You know, if you have a friend who's always borrowing stuff and not returning it, eventually you stop loaning the person. You know what they're going to do. That's a pattern of behavior. So you stop loaning them things because that's who they are. They're the person who borrows things and doesn't return it. So my biggest concern here is if it's true that Trump has a tendency to lie a lot, then I'm not sure that he's the most reliable source of information, particularly when his one opinion goes against everyone else. You know, he calls the Russia thing a hoax. All of our intelligence agencies agree that Russia infiltrated and tampered with our elections, right? He says that the COVID thing is fine, and there are recorded deaths. So if you believe him over the medical experts, it's starting to get dangerous, isn't it? Because you're believing a known liar over known experts. Okay. If you are a Trump voter, I know this has bothered you, but I just want you to check in with yourself. And if you believe as I do that that's immensely problematic to have a president who you can't trust because you know he lies a lot, then that's a concern. I want to remind you at this point, as we're getting close to Election Day, that when you go into that booth, it's secret. Your ballot is secret, your vote is secret, and you should absolutely vote your conscience. If you believe that Trump is the best president for our times, then vote for him. You must. You have to. But if you check your private thoughts and here and agree that there's something dangerous about this person, then you must not vote for him, regardless of your party, because I don't think this is an us and them anymore. I don't think this is a Democrat versus Republican anymore. I think, and again, my own belief is that this is an immensely dangerous person who is a threat to our nation, and if I'm right, then it's you and me against that. You know, obviously we can't both be right. If you're the person who thinks that Joe Biden is a dangerous threat to our nation and our system of government, and that he's a radical left socialist, then there's your decision. Listen, I appreciate you even being willing to hear me out and consider these things. I promise I'm not trying to brainwash you. I'm not trying to argue with you. You can argue back if you'd like. You're welcome to. You want to send me a video that engages me with this conversation and tells me how you feel? I will watch it. I will watch it. I really will. But I think that no matter what you say when you're in a group, what, your private truth has to come to the surface. You know, I really believe in my heart of hearts that that some of you out there who supported Trump are recognizing how different he is from what America's supposed to stand for. All right, end of commercial. um, yeah, thanks for staying with me and listening to my thoughts. And I'm always interested in your feedback. I really encourage you to share these videos if you like them, if they're meaningful to you. Believe me, I've gotten some pros and cons. I have some friends who think this is a foolish, naive waste of time, and that's okay. That's okay. Um, but I don't think it is. I think these are important conversations. All right, friends on both sides of the aisle. I'll be back with more thoughts. Thank you.